So Stellantis is betting big on the United States. You hear about this?
Nope. Please give me some good news.
Well, it could be good news. They are making their single largest investment in the history of the company, North America. The biggest investment they've ever done.
In Chrysler?
$13 billion are going, and that's only for North America. It's all coming here. And it's really coming to just this sector of the United States.
If they spent $13 billion elsewhere and these tariffs stick, I don't know if they will. I have a feeling and a hope that the Supreme Court will strike them down. Putting $13 million somewhere else, billion. It's not going to work out for them if they want to make the money that the U.S. market can make. They can't import those cars anyway, so they're going to have to make them here. So that makes sense. And I guess they're betting they can make up the extra cost of building them here by just having them more expensive.
And it's all coming to this northeastern sector of the United States, the manufacturing belt. So it's coming to really these 5 locations: Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, in the manufacturing plants there. So that's manufacturing, operations, research, and development. They're going to reopen the Illinois Belvidere assembly plant. That's going to produce the new Cherokee and Compass. The Ohio Toledo assembly complex, they're going to assemble the all-new midsize truck, the Dakota maybe.
Dakota's a good name. They should keep the Dakota name.
Michigan Warren Truck Assembly Plant, develop an all-new range-extended EV.
All new, not the Rev?
The Rev, a truck. This is the truck plant.
Oh, but that's a large SUV.
They're also making an internal combustion large SUV. And they're making the range-extended
version.
Ram. Mm-hmm. Detroit Assembly Plant, they're preparing for the next generation Dodge Durango. So all new Durango.
Next generation Dodge Durango, 8 years too late.
Yeah. The Indiana Kokomo facilities, they're going to produce a new 4-cylinder engine.
Yeah, that's a big bet. That's expensive.
This represents 5 new vehicles and 19 vehicle refreshes or engine refreshes, or I should say powertrain refreshes. That's a lot.
This is a new generation of Chrysler then. Because
all of Chrysler and Dodge's products are a decade old now.
Yeah, they're all ancient.
Or they're gone.
The last time they had this kind of refresh was when they introduced the Pentastar. The 5.7 replacing the 4.7 high output, the PowerTech motors.
Well, that was back in like 2004 or 2003.
Right.
But they did switch to the Eagle heads in like
2011,
10,
somewhere in there. Yeah, but what I'm talking about is when they dropped the PowerTech motors, the 3.7 and 4.7 low output, 4.7 high output. They call it standard output. Let's be honest. It was low output. That was previous gen. And in 1995, it was the biggest deal that they were going to those soon. And then in 6-7 years, they were obsolete and horribly unreliable. I own one and I've had to do major services to it to keep it on the road.
Big investment.
Yeah. So that generation is old. The generation we're on of all of the Chrysler products.
By comparison, if not older by this point.
Yeah.
It's overdue.
Like when you look, like Chevrolet has put 2 entirely new Suburban and Silverado platforms since the Dodge Durango platform started.
At the same time, people keep buying the Durango though.
I'm happy for Dodge that people are buying them. I want to look at those people and going, what are you doing?
It's their money.